Yeah, on the flatbeds we just renovated with a bush hog mower, but it's not in the spacing. It's not going to fit, so we have to find another way to cut them off. But we've had in that field, even though we've had a lot of plant mortality, we've had really good success carrying them over, and we've even tried thinning crowns, which that's too labor intensive. I don't want to do that, but you could, in theory. I mean, if you're willing to thin crowns, you could keep them going for quite a while. And we don't see, I know a lot of people see a drastic reduction in fruit quality. We don't, and for U-pick, you know, it's a little bit easier to get away with it too, even if the berries are a little bit smaller. Because again, my primary concern is the proximity to the market and just kind of how the U-pick will work. And for us, it's a whole lot easier if we're able just to funnel people through the market and they can walk right out here and pick. But I do think that eventually the labor demands of practicing the multi-year system is going to probably push us towards an annual type of system to adjust to.
Good.
But we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. The pruning the runners, I can definitely tell it's a big challenge. And
Yes.
you probably need to, as you said, you probably need to do it multiple times in the fall.
And we would not like it to get to this point. But how we'll do most of this is, you know, once we cut these plants off, we'll come through here with some kind of shears, and we'll basically just cut straight across.
Yeah.
And then you kind of do it in stages. If you have more time after that, you can go through and clean it up a little bit more. But it's the raised bed it was so much harder to deal with the runners on a flat bed because the plant's right here and the soil's right here, so there's not very far for that runner to travel before it gets in the ground. And here they kind of get out and they have to go down. So you kind of have this, especially once the plants are gone, you have this nice zone here where you can focus your removal efforts.
Right. Can I ask you what's your favorite varieties? Do you think you have one? You think?
So far, this is about half of this field is Jewel, and Jewel was when we buy all of our plants from Nurse Farms in Massachusetts, and that's what they recommended to me. We're not planting any more Jewels because they runner so much. I can understand why it's a good variety for beginners though, because it's very vigorous. It gets established very, very easily. It just grows and grows and grows. Looks really great the first year, but it pushes a ton of runners. But the fruit is good. It's a mid to late season variety. Disease resistance is excellent. But so far my favorite variety is Cabot, which we have some Cabots more in the middle section. Cabot is not a very vigorous plant. So you can actually, if you're on a weaker soil, you can probably plant it a little bit closer, maybe like you would an everbearing strawberry, maybe more like 10 inches. But we love it because it hardly runners at all. I mean, you would never grow it in a matted row system because you just can't get it to runner. The fruit size is enormous. A lot of people have experienced problems with misshapen berries on Cabot, and we've not seen any of that. The fruit quality has all been really good. So we're planting a lot of, actually everything they're planting right now in those beds is all Cabot. So we're kind of hoping that that'll be a berry that we can continue to grow in this way and carry it over because we won't have as many runners to worry about. And I think it's going to be a big hit with U-pick too because the fruit size is so large.
Okay. In terms of the U-pick business, normally how long your harvest season are?
So, and that's kind of tough for me to answer because we haven't really had a normal year with them yet. We've always had some kind of significant crop loss, significant problem. But I think that we will probably be 3 to 4 weeks is how long our season is going to be, because we would have been starting right around Memorial Day this year, maybe a few days after, and we just finished up our U-pick on Friday, this past Friday. So if you kind of think about it, if we hadn't lost all the berries to frost, that would put us about 3 to 4 weeks.
I see.
And we have some interest in maybe trying to expand that, but I think there's also something to be said for kind of making it a big deal while you have it, you know, especially from the marketing side of things, and kind of creating that idea of scarcity. It's time to come out. It allows us to staff more people. You know, we want to basically try to turn strawberries into a mini October for us in the future and turn it into that festival type of environment. So the longer you try to drag it on, I think it gets harder to keep that atmosphere going. It's the same reason why we don't try to have U-pick pumpkins in August. You want to kind of fit the season. So
okay. Then in that case, how you fit this strawberry in the overall U-pick business? What's the What's the level of the strawberry, like as all the other crops?
So from a production standpoint, you know, it's still relatively minor for us in terms of its financial importance, but from how new we are at it and the demand that we're seeing, it's pretty clear to us that there is the potential for strawberries to probably become the second most important crop that we grow after apples. Because we're learning and because the crop hasn't been as big and we haven't had the acreage that we'd like to have, we've put pretty minimal marketing resources into promoting U-Pick strawberries, and we still have this overwhelming response for them. And that's really exciting for us, because a lot of the things that we do here as a business, we have to work really hard to get them off the ground and spend a lot of money and stuff like that. And these sell themselves. So I think going forward, it's definitely one of the areas that we're spending the most time and money working on, both in terms of production and in terms of marketing and, you know, the sales side of it. And I think if you ask me that question, you know, 10 years from now, it'll probably be, you know, our highest value or second highest value crop after apples.
Okay.
And I can see that happening very easily.
Great.